Hey everybody, how's it going? Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be talking about errors and cherry picker varieties on your war nickels that are going to make them worth a lot more money and are just really cool to look out for and collect. You can search for these on the abundance of war nickels that are already out there, or ones that are graded in high condition. Often they miss the error. And basically, I'll be showing you, there's like 14, I want to say, 13, 14, a clear photo of the error explaining how to look for it. And then I'll also give you the prices down below in different conditions so that you have a great sense of what you've got if you have one of these war nickels, which are already 35% silver. Let's get into the video. We're going to start off with a crazy error on the first slide of the presentation. And here is our first silver war nickel that we're going to be showing off, except this one has the one characteristic that should be an identifier missing. So there's no P or S above this coin. It normally would have been that the mint mark would be featured above Monticello, but instead there's nothing there. This one was in circulation for a long time before people realized that, what it was, and it's valued around $10,000, a really significant coin. But if one was struck, more could be struck, so you want to make sure that you're not missing this. It's kind of a distinct war nickel color for people who are familiar with what a worn war nickel, how that colors instead of and wears down instead of a copper nickel version. But that's one to be on the lookout for. A more achievable one, it would be when there is a mint mark. There's this P, and there's a repunched mint mark. It's a protrusion at the bottom right-hand side of the, of the long stem, I guess, of the P. And there's only one sale value, and that was a Mint State 66 coin, but it sold for $1,000. So there's definitely some significant value there that you want to be looking for. 1942S also has a repunched mint mark. This time it's more protruding from the side, a westward spread in the bottom of the S. In AU53, this is a $50 coin. Mint State 63 is about $125, and Mint State 65 is about $350. So some good scaling up at the end, but you can also check coins that are already certified and they're already high grade and just make sure that they don't have the repunched mint mark. Going along, there's a pretty notable 1943 over 2 P Jefferson Nickel. It's an overdate, and you can see the trace of the 2 that has been punched over, kind of coming out of the bottom of the 3, though, and it kind of extends into the middle part. AU53, it's about $180, then Mint State, they can range $300 to $600 or so. So definitely a coin to look for. There's also a prominent double die obverse. It's not focused as an over mint mark, but you can see there's a little bit of a doubled I. There's also doubling in the T, in the N, in the 4, kind of all throughout the lettering in 1943P coins and on the obverse. There's also another double die obverse, and this one is more of an extra thickness. So over here, you can really see how much thicker like the bottom of the B is. There's not like any clear separation, but if you look in the bottom, E, way thicker than this kind of bottom part of the E. The serifs are much less strongly pronounced. Just all across. I think that it's best when you have one side by side so that you can compare. But really, if you just look at the bottom of these letters, they're miles, not literally, but significantly thicker than the normal ones. And this one isn't quite as valuable, but maybe $30 in AU53 in, a little bit of circulation. And then Mint State coins could be $100 to $250. After that, there's still another 43P double die obverse, but this one does have some serifs. You can see it in the T and the S, kind of in the tops there. This one was kind of worn. I think it was XF40, so this one definitely stays on the coin. There were a lot of problems here, and this is another one to be looking for. You can see also split serifs in the E, both parts there. A little bit of a doubling in the sidebar in the T and the Y, and I could only find an AU55 sales result that was $75, so I could see it ranging up quite quickly in a Mint State. Then we finally move on to a 1943D Jefferson Nickel, and this one is a repunched mint mark, best seen below the D mint mark above Monticello. AU53 is $20, Mint State 63 $50, and Mint State 65 about $125. So it's one of our more modest varieties in terms of pricing. And there's also the 44D repunched mint mark. Here you can see it better. You can see it still a little bit underneath. I think that there's actually 2 types. I should correct that. But you can definitely see it on the upper left part of the mint mark. So that's a good place to look. Obviously, they're tilted slightly differently, but as a rule, you can expect about $15 to $20 in AU53, and then between $50 and $150 in mint state. Always helps to get it certified. After that, there's a really prominent double die reverse on a lot of the 1945P ones. You can see strong doubling in the base of the E and the S, as well as in the right side of Monticello. It gets a lot stronger there, especially in the L's, in the O. But I think it's also easy to just check out the cents, and again, spreading more as we get more towards the east or the right part of the coin. Next up, we have a triple die reverse, and this one can also be seen in the E in cents. You can see that doubled serif, and as well as over here in both parts of this E. But then when you look on the E pluribus unum, you can also see some different bars kind of in the bottom of the letter. AU53, $25, mint state between 100 and 175 or so. The second triple die reverse you can also find in that part of the E in 5 cents, so I think that's a good place to look. You can also see it looks like almost a tripled or just a repunched multiple times mint mark that accompanies some of them, but I don't think it accompanies all of them. You can also see some of the doubled and tripled, it's really tripled parts in the bottom of the lettering in E pluribus unum. This one's kind of expensive as well, AU53, $50, mint state 125 to 350. And then there's also a double die obverse and repunched mint mark. And this one also doesn't always have this repunched mint mark. There's two different ones. The other one's a lot harder to see. But the best way to look for it is for the thickness. Again, just comparing the obverse here, the B, the L, much less thick compared to the kind of extreme thickness, especially in the bottom serifs on the coin. This one's not too valuable though. AU53 is $20, mint state 63 is $50, and mint state 65 is $100, but it's still pretty cool just to be able to recognize that there is some doubling on a coin and it's all matched with one of two repunched mint marks. And our last repunched mint mark and last variety for the day is the 1945D. This one is seen as a Far East spread. You can see a second Denver mint mark kind of protruding where it starts to curve into the right part of the D. And AU53 coins are about $15, mint state 63 $40, and mint state 65 $250. So not bad if you ask me. And yeah, that's the last of our war nickel errors. There's a lot to be looking out for on them in such a short period of time. And good luck either putting together a set or finding these, or however you're going to use the information provided in this presentation. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe for more content, and get in touch with me on my website, treasuretownYT.com, Facebook, TreasureTown, Instagram @TreasureTownYT, or Twitter @TreasureTown_YT, and I'll look forward to seeing you on some of my future vids.